we always knew that there would be consequences for Brexit, and we also said that there would be some very much unforeseen consequences when it comes to Brexit. And this is almost certainly one. If you would have told me back in 2016 that Brexit would be causing basically the taps of the UK to run dry, and for those of you uninitiated in the language of the tap house, that basically means that Britain is running out of beer. That is, of course, except for Northern Ireland. And of course, why is that the case? Because Northern Ireland is still technically in the customs union and single market. Indeed, in a bizarre twist of fate, it seems to be that Northern Ireland is actually benefiting from their current arrangements of the withdrawal agreement by remaining in the single market and customs union. Which, by the way, if this continues, will present a absolutely fantastic case study for essentially Britain rejoining the single market and customs union. Because you've left one part of it in there. The rest of it's out. So when Northern Ireland starts to flourish, because it's still in those, in the single market customs union, single market and customs union, and then the rest of the UK is in like complete dire straits recession, and again, we're going to hit the big ABCs, austerity, because that's how the Tories are going to think that we get out of this crisis. Trust me, autumn is going to be fun. Brexit bringing more consequences, a huge lack of skilled labour in this country. Not only just lorry drivers in the hospitality industry, in all different types of industries are going to feel the pinch of these things. And then, of course, COVID. The damage that COVID has done, because again, the Tories aren't going to and aren't proposing any serious problems to get us out of this mess. It's going to affect this country for a significantly long time. And I've said before in these videos, I think 2022 is going to be incredibly hard for a lot of people, because we see other countries like planning like a 3 to 5 year investment plan to help get their country out and over COVID. In the UK, as soon as furlough ends, that's it. But anyway, let's get back to the more serious topic of beer, because if there's one thing that people hate, it's, well, a shortage of beer. And of course, I'm sure that's not going to potentially lead to any troubles, but at least maybe the Brexiteers who voted for it might be willing to suffer for this quite some time. But here we go. So, as always, before we do jump into today's article, please do remember to hit that like, share and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, of course, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the page that way. So, this comes from the London Economic. It is taps run dry in the UK as pubs and as lorry driver shortages hit beer supplies. Pubs are now currently struggling with beer supplies because of the shortage of lorry drivers, with many having to stop serving until supply chains can actually get resolved. Watering holes across the country are at risk of drying up completely over this completely black hole at the end of summer, with large pub chains particularly hit bad, according to reports. Emma McCann, the chief executive at the British Beer and Pub Association, has urged the government to put lorry drivers on the list of occupations facing shortages of post-Brexit. The Scottish pub group, Morrigan, I think that's how you say it, has said that some businesses will go bankrupt this week and next week because of this distribution chaos, with the Scottish Licensed Trade Association adding that deliveries have either reduced or stopped over the past week. And remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we were warning about this potential crisis, and now it's starting to hit. You know, if you can hear a phone ringing, that's just me. I'm just answering it. But it gets even better. It comes as EU citizens were prevented from coming back to work in the UK, or just deciding to just move back to the EU post-Brexit. The HGV driver lorry shortage is particularly being felt in our sector, like so many others, McKen told the Daily Mail. The Fox and Hound pub in Cleaving, a village in the Tory and Brexit voting Shafton Walden constituency, and said that some of the customers had shouted and sworn at the staff after facing beer shortages. And the Rising Sun in Rochester in Kent also admitted that it had been struggling with shortages on many items which they said were completely out of their control. Yesterday, the government announced plans to recruit an extra 40 additional driving examiners to try and tackle these shortages. But the move is meant to try and help replace a shortage of over 100,000 truck drivers, previously made up primarily of Eastern Europeans who had been unable or basically just unwilling to work in the UK because of post-Brexit rules and, of course, the UK's COVID travel restrictions. Earlier this month, a lorry driver explained why he's taking the following steps of his colleagues and moving back to Romania to work across Europe. Vorul Alexander Ornu from Transylvania, Romania, used to work from his home country and across Europe. He thinks his previous work conditions were better than the ones that he has in the UK. He said that there is now more risk of tiredness and pressure on the lorry drivers to deliver to the UK supermarkets because they are expected to cover for the Brexit-related driver shortages and work even longer hours approved by the government. He said that without any doubt, the prolonged hours are raising the risks of lorry drivers and for other road users. The problem is that there are the same drivers now left in the UK to try and cover for the shortages that you have to bring in drivers from abroad. But Transport Minister Grant Sharples insisted that he does not have to support using foreign labour to tackle a long-standing issue in the haulage industry, whilst admitting that the road haulage and freight sector is facing historic shortages. Brexit Britain, everyone. So, yeah, I suppose if you've got it, drink it. If you haven't, maybe you might want to stockpile it. Because almost certainly these shortages are going to get worse. Very significantly worse, especially with October fast approaching, where the first lot of checks on the UK side of the border must be implemented. And as of course, not only are there a massive lack of staff, there is no infrastructure, the IT systems are just horrible and basically don't even work. You literally have to send an email and wait up to 5 to 6 days for a response. Imagine if you have to send something out urgently and you're sat there waiting for 5 to 6 days to try and get a response to a system that is archaic. And that's not me, that is other people in the industry who have used it. So October, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. And I think very, very quickly, that combined with the autumn budget, combined with something else, who knows what could happen. But I think Boris Johnson now, shall we say, sits very uneasily in, shall we say, the Prime Minister's office, because there are already moves afoot to try and get rid of him. So as always, thank you for... Oh, by the way, oh no. Yes, never mind. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time. But please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me a coffee. And as always, thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time.